And another good afternoon. Welcome back to AM 1410 WRMN in Elgin. It's Wednesday, beautiful day outside. It might be a little chilly, but the sun is shining, so it's, in my eyes, a beautiful day. And
sun's shining in your eyes, eh?
The sun is shining in my eyes. Can't you see my eyes are twinkling, sparkly?
I thought that was from looking at me.
Well, that too. That happens every Wednesday at this time. Whoa!
That
wasn't me.
That,
that wasn't me.
Jeez,
just so everyone knows. I hope Val got that with the camera. Folks out there listening, do you want to lose weight fast? Do you want to get rich quick? Do you want to look young forever? I do.
Me too.
You do, yeah, I know. But you're doing a good job. You're doing a better job at it than I am. And that's why we're here Wednesday afternoons at 3 o'clock AM 1410. It's the DION Jones Show. Laura, how you doing today?
Delicious. You think I wake up looking like this?
Well, yeah, I do, actually.
Sometimes.
I think you're a very low maintenance. I think you're kind of a on-the-go girl. So you don't have time to get yourself and get your stuff together. I think you could just kind of throw something on, go out and look the way you do.
Aren't you astute? You know, everybody thinks I'm high maintenance, and I'm not.
Really?
Because I have certain tricks and tips and things that I do that I could be ready to go at a moment's notice.
What about the hair products? Don't you have to work a little bit on that? It looks delightful, of course.
You're picking on my hair again.
No. I mean, it would take a little bit of product, wouldn't it?
You could use a
I
little
couldn't look
hair
like Jim
product.
Carrey unless I did that for a while. I know. Thank you. Smoking, don't you think?
Jeff Myers, everybody.
And speaking of delicious, did you kids hear that Paula Deen, the queen of Southern cooking, has type 2 diabetes?
No, I didn't hear that.
No wonder. Yeah. She doesn't exactly believe in healthy, low-carb lifestyle, if you ask me. And now she's going to be a spokesperson for a big pharmaceutical company to shed new light on the disease. Can you imagine?
Good. I like her donuts with bacon in the middle.
I like bacon. Bacon's bacon. Bacon, eggs, donuts, sugar, sweet, coffee, latte. Bacon and donuts in the middle?
It's one of her popular favorites.
Well, look at her. For me to disparage anybody now. Come on, 317 pounds, and I'm down to whatever I am.
Tell the class, what are you down to?
About 180-ish.
Right.
I fluctuate between 180, 178, 184. I keep weighing, get it. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm awestruck.
Why?
I like when you talk about how much weight you've lost, and you're so proud and happy about it.
Yeah.
Listen,
it's like what we all should be going for with our 6 to 8 weeks Elgin's Biggest Loser, to have that attitude that you have, like, I'm there, I'm where I want it to be, and it took me so long. Now that I'm here, I'm going to flaunt it, I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to be happy about it, and it shows. That's why I look at you the way I look at you.
Thank you.
I'm very proud for you.
Thank you. And you know something? It's a daily effort. It takes diligence. It takes commitment. It takes fear of going back up to over 300 pounds again. I've been there 3 times in my life. I don't want to go back. And that's one of the talks tonight. Those girls better be prepared over at the center for Commit to Get Fit, Elgin's Biggest Loser 7, because we're going to have a little come to Jesus talk tonight.
How did week 2 go last week, all right?
Excellent. You know, every time I do this program, it amazes me because I have, sometimes when I want to do the program for corporations and they want to know what my curriculum is, it's like I can't tell them because it all depends on who's in the class and the audience and the needs. Like every single time I do it, it's different. It grows. I have more information, and my job is to also make it interesting for the recommits, the people who are the repeaters.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
They don't want to hear the same old, and by the same token, the newbies need to hear certain things. So I have to find fresh, different, new, better ways to tell things. And the class, thank you for asking, is excellent because excuse me for saying this, I amaze myself sometimes with what comes up with the emails I get. Sometimes I have no idea. Maybe I'm going to go for week 3 of what I did the last session. And then I get an email this morning, I get an email last night, and it changes my whole direction in what I'm going to present to the people. And I definitely hope that I can instill in them the desire and the diligence that I have. Because I just don't want to be fat ever again. It ain't worth it.
I think we should. Maybe you should think about this as maybe change the show up just one time instead of having great guests that you have come in all the time. I think you should come in and just talk about you and your program. I have a million questions for you. We can open up the phone lines.
Oh, I would love to.
I want to ask you, not now, just so you know, I want to ask you what you have learned since you've been doing the Elgin's Biggest Loser. Don't answer me now.
Okay.
Wait till the show comes when we're going to interview Laura DION Jones.
I'd love to do it. You know something? Claire is on next week. Claire Aleos, Dr. Aleos.
Hey.
And maybe we should have like that kind of a girl talkie show and let her do her thing, and then the rest of the show we could do whatever you want. I mean, if you want to have people call in, announce it in your morning show. And I'm best really off the cuff. You know that. Man on the street kind of thing. You know, just impromptu. Ask me anything. I did last Monday, not this Monday, but the previous Monday, I did a program at Oak Lawn Public Library. It was outstanding. I mean, I would have been there till midnight answering questions if they didn't shoo us out.
There's people here in the office and people I've talked to ask, what is your motivation for coming out here? You live in Chicago. Why don't you stay in Chicago? And not that you're not welcome here, but what is your motivation for coming out and helping the city of Elgin? Why is she here? Why is she coming out all the way to Elgin from Chicago? It must take you an hour to get here on Wednesday, an hour to get home.
45 minutes to get here.
It's an hour. I'm talking
Traffic.
Give or take.
Hour,
a little snow, a little rain, you're going to go a lot slower, that's for sure.
Not me.
But what's your motivation for doing that?
My motivation, because this is where my opportunity came. Way back when I started that fall into that February, Jennifer Almanza asked me at the Elgin Image Award, she said, why Elgin? Why did you pick Elgin? And I said, I didn't. Elgin picked me.
That's sweet. That's sweet.
My opportunity came here. There was a need. Y'all were voted or deemed the fattest city in Illinois from some obscure driver's license thing or another. And I'm proud to say that I helped 166 Elgin area residents lose 1,685 pounds.
Fantastic.
What more can I say?
It's fantastic.
So I'm here to do what I can do, and we'll see where this takes me. So listen to me. This is the Laura DION Jones Show, and we are on the air with Scott Bond of a Fat Cat Guitar Shop and Judson University professor, librarian, and trivia queen bee, Lynn Hammerlund, and we will be hearing from them in a second. What else did you want to know?
Well, save it for that show next week, don't you think?
I was afraid to ask you any more questions because, like I said, we could fill up an easy hour-long program.
Somebody's Dr. Phil over there.
Interviewing Laura DION Jones.
Thank you. Listen, we have a great guy with us today that knows an awful lot about notes and music, and his name is Scott Bond, and he's an owner, along with his darling wife, Kate, no pun intended on that one, of the Fat Cat Guitar Shop right here in beautiful downtown Elgin, and also, as I said, Judson University professor and librarian and trivia queen bee, or trivia bee queen. I like Trivia Queen Bee better. Lynn Hammerlund, who will tell us all about her exciting lifelong dream of appearing on Jeopardy this very week, like tomorrow and Friday. We'll be hearing from both Scott and Lynn in a few minutes, but first stay right where you are and don't touch that radio dial, because in the studio with us today are Mike Hunziker, one of my favorite guy pals, an inquisitive, loyal sidekick, and trusty board man, Jeff Myers, my remarkable co-host. And, of course, what would our show be without our very favorite YouTube camera girl, Valerie the Swan? You never look at those on YouTube. You would die if you saw
check
that.
your teeth every week.
Or tonsils.
Yeah.
So please stick around, because as usual, we've got a whole lot of fun and interesting talking lined up for you today. You're listening again to the Laura DION Jones Show on WRMN, 1410 AM. And meanwhile, back at the WRMN Ranch, today's show is brought to you again by...
We just heard she'll be in the studio next week, so this week we'll talk about Dr. Claire Elias. I saw her recently at the Martin Luther King breakfast, which was a great crowd, 270 folks at the center of Elgin in the Heritage Ballroom.
Wow,
this past
cool.
Saturday. Oh, it was full house. Wonderful speech by your former guest, Tracy Ellis. She wowed him. Some of her speeches up on the YouTube. Well, let's talk about Dr. Claire Elias, can we? 2001 Larkin Avenue is her location. You know that. You pick up the phone, or you go like that. You take your phone out, as everybody does in the modern day. And you go, 847-888-9988. 23 years she's been chiropractic. And let's pan left one more time for the YouTube audience right there. Notice the hair product, but also the perfect posture. That's what it's all about.
You're just jealous of my hair.
Well, it is delightful. It's its own state in some markets. Perfect posture we have right there. Give that credit to Dr. Claire Elias, and she's going to be here, you said. You're getting together for her right here in the studio.
And I have another announcement at the end of the show that I want to tell you about.
Let's
something
fast
Dr.
forward
Claire
right now.
and I are up to. No, but I'm not bringing it up. And would also like to thank snobhounds.com, a canine clothing company. Think Nike meets Donna Karen, but for canines, Snobhounds is true environmental protection wear. And would also like to thank Casey Tool, an automotive specialty tool company available through your Snap-on mobile tool distributor. And a very special thank you to Casey for making this show and all of our shows possible. And it's time for Laura's Motivational Minutes. Are we ready?
We're ready.
Okay. You probably know this, Trivia
she's
Queen.
Jeopardy, so she'll get this.
We tend to live up to our expectations.
All right. Is that it?
A short one this week.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. This is Jeopardy. Can we do it? It's a quote from a famous person that we may or may not know. Lynn, any ideas?
To live up to our expectations, I will give you...
Mark Twain.
E-N. E-N.
E-N. Enos Nabel. No, that was it.
Earl?
Nightingale.
Yes.
Oh, my heavens. Earl. This is Earl Nightingale. It's wonderful.
And the following is excerpted from Bring Your Own Game, my most recent elgin.bocajump.com motivational blog article. My dear friend Sue Conway, remember her? Mm-hmm. Internationally known gospel, jazz, and blues singer, former chanteuse of Chicago's famed Pump Room, is quite a bit overweight. I've been praying and encouraging her to lose weight and gain better health for years, and all to no avail yet. Sue and her gospel group had planned their recent trip to Italy to perform with a very famous orchestra for a long time. One thing led to another. She had 2 trips to the hospital before Christmas, and then her docs all advised her not to go on the Italy tour. Of course she went. We know Sue. And she ran out of steam. Then she realized she didn't bring her A game with her. So Sue had quite an epiphany during that trip and is now on a new health and fitness plan. She was on the show week before last telling us about this, but I wrote an article about it.
She was on a few weeks before that even, too.
Yeah. And I turned it into an article. So anyway, go to bocajump.com. Anyway, if you hate being fat, do something about it right now. Stop waiting for TV's Biggest Loser to come and find you, 'cause they ain't. Don't know where to begin? Begin right where you are now. If you run into a diet and walking roadblock, begin again right at that very moment. Make it all count toward your improved health, fitness, and a better way of life. We do tend to live up to our own expectations. Make your expectations of yourself always a bit higher than your reach. Bring your A game to whatever you do each and every day, especially with regard to your new diet and daily cardio plan. There is no other way, really. And please go to elgin.bocajump.com/blogs to read the rest of my motivational article and forward it to all your friends, especially those who need a serious kick in the butt of life. And on a side note, according to the CDC, we're at a stalemate in the fight against obesity today. Did y'all know that? Did you hear this? As of 2010, 1/3 of American adults, that's about 78 million people, and nearly 13 million kids are obese. That's the same number as it was in 2003. I can't say 2003. Anyway, our next guest story won't help you in your own fight to lose weight, but what he does is guaranteed to make you and everyone around you a whole lot happier, more relaxed, and the envy of all your friends. Please let's give a warm LDJ welcome to our first guest today, none other than Scott Bond, James Bond's son, owner. Is your dad's name James?
Thank God, no.
Owner, along with his lovely wife, Kate Darling, of the Fat Cat Guitar Shop right here in downtown Elgin. Welcome, Scott.
Thanks
Are
for
you
having
sure
me.
you're not related to Sean Connery?
I get asked all the time. Well, if it was Sean Connery, that'd be different.
Thanks a lot for coming on the Laura DION Jones Show today. I have one question about Kate. Is she related to the darlings of that wonderfully wacky TV series, Dirty Sexy Money? Remember that show? Oh,
Yeah.
It was. Didn't you love it?
It was great.
It was so like.
Only had a few episodes, but it was delightful.
Yeah, it was like terrifically crazy and dysfunctional, and I don't. She's not
If she
related.
is, she's not fessing up to me.
Are you related to Gary U.S. Bonds, who was a singer, was he not?
Might run in a family. Might run in a musical.
right.
Stuff might run in a family.
We tried.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? It's time to fess up now because we're going to run out of time here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you're from and where you grew up.
Well, I'm actually a Elgin transplant right around 2000, but pretty much lived around northern Illinois most of my life. Done quite a few things. Basically found a way to wrangle guitar into a living.
Good for you.
Went to school for music. Studied how to build and fix guitars as well. Been playing for about 27 years now. And basically it just kind of took over my life. My parents got me guitar lessons when I was 14. And
That's what I was going to ask you next. What?
that was the trigger. I actually wanted to play piano first, but luckily I changed since it's a lot harder to haul a piano around to gigs.
Keyboards.
Yeah, even then, they're a lot heavier and messier to carry around and hook up.
Sadly, I never could understand the language,
Yeah.
the musical note language. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I love music, but I just never could get the...
Well, with guitar, actually, luckily you don't really, it's not a prerequisite to have to read music. They have a shorthand, which they call tablature, so that you can actually learn how to play things without having to read actual notes.
No kidding.
Some people see it as kind of a crutch, but it's a good shorthand.
Still a foreign language to people like Laura and I.
It is, but
Yeah,
no need
if
to
you-
fret. No need to fret for you.
No need to
Deep.
fret. No pun intended on
Yeah.
that one, eh?
No.
No need to fret, y'all. Is there such a thing as a fat cat guitar? Like a fat boy Harley? Fat cat guitar? No.
Well,
yes?
what I am building I call them Fat Cat custom guitars.
Cool.
Like the one I'm holding here. Basically, they're the ones that I build in shop here. Some of them are built from pre-existing parts. Some of them are built from scratch from raw lumber. Just kind of depends. There's no specific Fat Cat model per se. We have different models that we build. None of them are actually called a Fat Cat, though. Not yet, anyway.
Well, you should. Fat
Seems-
boy. Don't
seems
they have
natural.
Fat boy Harleys or something like that?
Don't know.
Harley Fat Boy? I don't know. You know what I mean.
Their lawyers might come knocking on our door.
Fat
We wanna avoid
Cats?
that. If we called it a Fat Boy.
No, call it Fat Cat.
Oh, yeah.
Like your name. Listen, I want to know how many guitars have you built?
It's probably right around 100 now. There's probably
Chihuahua.
60 of them or so in the hands of players around the northern Illinois area.
Can I come over sometime and watch you? Just a
Sure.
little bit. I want to see how you do it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
What do they range in price for a custom built guitar? Like from X to what?
Usually for a pre-existing parts type of guitar.
Like if somebody comes in with a bag of parts and says, "I
Yeah,
found
or
this in the attic."
I can get them, but you can get guitar bodies and necks in a lot of different places. If I were to build something using those parts, usually they start somewhere around $600-700. It can range anywhere up to $3 to $4. Usually tops out around there for something handmade.
1,000. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, like this beautiful piece that you have in your lap right
Yes.
now. Did you build that?
Yeah, this one is actually one of the fully hand-built ones.
Valerie, could you get a shot of that for our YouTube? This is absolutely gorgeous. What kind of wood is this?
This is mahogany. It doesn't translate well on radio.
That's okay, but it's beautiful. Take it from me. It's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, this one has actually rather.
You
than
did all
using-
this woodwork?
Yeah, this was
Wow.
just. Well, it wasn't quite a tree when I got my hands on it, but it was close.
No way. What did it look like when you got your hands on it? Like a log?
Well, it was slabs of wood.
Oh.
Basically, is what it was. And then,
What do I know?
Rather than going with the hard, shiny finish, this one has what they call gunstock oil finish.
Very nice. More matte finish, less flashy.
Yeah, it lets the wood breathe and speak a little better. Doesn't dampen the sound like many hard finishes do.
How did you learn to build and repair guitars? Like what, all of a sudden you're building them.
I never
Know
went
what I
to school per se for it, but I did do, being a player for 27 years, I learned a lot just by having my hands on them that long. But eventually I started want to work on them myself rather than having to pay someone to do it. Learn that way. Got a lot of books and videos. Over the years, I just kind of accumulated the knowledge and started doing it for friends, and that just kind of built. I worked for a couple different manufacturers doing repair and inspection, and kind of snowballed from there,
Got
eventually opening our own shop.
Got any good stories? Work for anybody famous? Make a guitar for like...
Not related to
Jimmy
guitar
Page
building,
or something?
but one of the fun things I got to do by playing guitar, I got to record an album at Abbey Road Studios in London.
No way.
That was really
Was
cool.
that fun?
It was unbelievably cool. It was, everything there is like a little piece of history and music. It's great.
Is that your new album, your current album, Ether?
No, actually, that one is that was a former band that I was in. It was around the late 90s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
The band was called Icos. If you Google it, occasionally it'll still pop up, but unfortunately it's now defunct, but that was a great opportunity for us at the time.
Speaking of great opportunities, we want to thank you for listening to the Laura DION Jones Show. And we're on the air with Scott Bond, owner, along with his darling wife, Kate, of the Fat Cat Guitar Shop down here in downtown Elgin. Kate couldn't be with us today. Sadly, I wanted to meet a real darling and get her autograph just
She's
in case.
quite a girl.
And I bet she's darling. Oh, and also Judson University professor, librarian, and trivia queen bee Lynn Hammerlund, who will tell us all about her exciting lifelong dream of appearing on Jeopardy this week, tomorrow and Friday, after the half. But meanwhile, back to Scott here. Let me ask you something.
Sure.
Who's the greatest guitar player in history, in your opinion?
Oh, man.
question.
I can get a lot of fights starting this way. Well, the guys that got me going,
The Beatles?
my first guitar hero was Eddie Van Halen.
No way.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's kind of what kicked it off for me. And then there's been lots of them over the years, but primarily it's a lot of the hard rock kind of players. But then a lot of the jazz guys are good as well. Joe Pass and Pat Metheny. Those kind of guys. I enjoy a lot of the different styles of guitar playing.
I do too, actually. I'm not an aficionado like you are, but I do enjoy a really good guitar riff.
Yeah.
You know, rock riff and things like that. Aren't you surprised I know that?
Yeah, a little bit.
I do. I love a guitar riff, a good rock guitar riff. Who do you think is the most overrated guitar player ever?
I can't even.
Come on, Dish.
Oh, man.
Dish.
You know what? It's going to bring out too many haters if I say it.
Come on, that's why we're here. We like a little controversy. Who? Overrated.
You know, honestly, I can't even really think of any particular one. There's...
You wimp.
I know.
Laura.
Sorry. Calling my guest away. All right, I'll give you...
Trying to be diplomatic here.
Forget it.
I make my living with guitars.
But not with...
No.
You know, whoever you're going to say.
Someone out there could go, that's my favorite guy, you suck.
Okay, yeah, you're right, okay. We'll give it a pass because you're a businessman and like that, but I'll let you go. What can we expect at Fat Cat Custom Guitars and Repair? I hear you're going to give music lessons. Mikey.
Nice.
Yes. Not me personally, but as the additional business, we actually have two businesses downtown Elgin now in the same building. One is the Fat Cat Custom Guitars and Repair, which will feature me doing the building and all the repairing, customizing. We will likely be giving some courses in repair and building over the years. That's in the plans anyway. And then for the music lessons, we have the Fat Cat Music Lessons program, which we have, I believe it's 7 different teachers now will be doing guitar, bass, vocals, and piano. We've got some really good instructors, real professionals. Most of them have been with us since we started our earlier business, the regular Fat Cat guitars that we opened up in Carpentersville.
Was that when you were on Rand Road?
Yeah.
Why'd y'all move over here? Why'd y'all relocate?
Well, the environment on Randall Road, it's more of a big box kind of environment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've always tried to aim more for the boutique kind of market, more of a, not necessarily mom and pop, but more of a specialized kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm. And some people prefer that.
Yeah.
Some people prefer that. Some people want to come to you for that. Some people want for the individuality, for the special care, for the lessons.
And we always tried to deliver that, but the environment on Randall Road, you know, it's a little more oriented toward the big box as far as you know, the retail pricing and everything else. It just becomes a little difficult to keep up with, I would say.
Let me ask you something. What are some of the benefits of music making?
Well, there's quite a few. You know, there's been studies that babies in the womb, you know, if they hear certain types of music, they
I
seem
agree
to
with
develop.
that, yeah.
It definitely can keep kids out of trouble, I think.
That's one of my questions I wanted to ask you about how important it is to teach kids music at any age.
Well, it stimulates the brain a lot. It gets parts of the brain going that may not be otherwise stimulated or not stimulated in the same way. You know, it's different than sports. It's different than playing video games because there's a lot of creativity involved. There's a lot of hand-eye, hand-brain coordination. There's a lot of different things that come into play with that, and it really, I think it helps cement kind of the, I guess, lost my...
But you know what? It's good for
that.
them because it keeps them busy.
Yeah.
It teaches them discipline, correct?
Definitely.
And
definitely.
I think that, look how it's benefited you.
Yeah, I've managed to make a career out of it.
What would you like to leave our listeners with?
Well, I'd just like to tell them that we're glad to be here in Elgin. We're excited. We got a lot of help from the Downtown Neighborhood Association and Tanya Hudson down there. Helped us out a lot. We're almost ready to go for business. We're just
when are you
waiting
going to
on
open?
As soon as we get those occupancy permits, which are either going to happen late this week or early next week. So there will be a big sign on our Facebook and website and obviously in the window of the stores when we're open. And it's going to be great. We're going to have a great environment, take great care of the guitars. We'll be able to customize whatever you want, do the setups, do the lessons. It's going to be awesome.
Did I miss a question? Where's the store going to be located at?
The repair shop is 57 Douglas Avenue, right downtown Elgin, across from the post office, and the lesson facility is in the same building at 63 Douglas Avenue on the 3rd floor.
Okay, but you're like next door to Final Cut Clip. What's the name of that?
Razor's Edge.
Razor's Edge. I'm sorry.
And the former Quiznos.
Yeah, Bruce. Yeah, you're in between the two of them. Would you like to play a little something for us, like maybe a couple of bars of Stairway to Heaven as we segue into halftime? And that's one of my favorite rock songs.
Is it really?
Yeah, I love Stairway to Heaven. And also, we want to thank Scott Bond from Fat Cat Guitars in Elgin for coming on the Laura DION Jones Show today. And we are also going to close the show today with one of his original compositions called Down Low. But I touched your guitar. I'm half Italian and I talk, and swing my arms around. So this is Scott Bond with a minute or two of Stairway to Heaven.
See how much I remember from
You can
10
do
years
it.
ago.
Come on.
Okay, that's... Now I just lost it. I'm sorry.
Close your eyes. Focus.
That's it.
Play something else if you want.
I'll play a little blues riff.
How about the anthem? You were doing good. Okay, now you're talking, honey. I'm in heaven.
How's that?
Can you teach me how to do that?
Sure.
Do you play around the house like all the time?
No, Kate would kill me.
Oh, I would love it.
I locked myself in my room for that.
That was pretty. Did you make that up? Or is that
Yeah, I was just riffing. Aside from the
Riffing. See, you work it into your conversation.
riffing?
Yeah,
I have to
riffing.
riff up my hair.
Was that a blues scale?
Yeah, that was a lot of blues scale there.
It was beautiful. I love blues. I got to say, probably I like blues better than rock. No offense to anybody, but that was really beautiful.
I don't want to hear it from anybody about forgetting how to play the
Stairway to Heaven.